So I want to lease an electric vehicle. Should I use a personal lease, or if it's available to me, should I use an electric vehicle salary sacrifice scheme? Let's do some maths. So welcome back to the channel, folks. JD here again with another quick car finance related video for you. I hope you're all safe and well. What I'm going to do today is take 3 electric vehicles. I'm going to find the cheapest lease using the leaseloco.com website, and I'm going to compare that with a salary sacrifice version. However, the caveat should be is that it's difficult to obtain an actual salary sacrifice amount that would be taken from your salary without actually registering with a scheme. I can't really find any quote engines out there that I can use for demonstration purposes. So what I'm going to do is base the figures, if you like, on what Lease Plan. So Lease Plan are a big leasing company, and if you go to their salary sacrifice page, they give a few indicative prices at the bottom, and the 3 cars they are quoting is the Mini Hatch Cooper S Level 2, the Hyundai Kona 64 kilowatt hour, or the Polestar 2. That's quite handy because I want a Polestar 2 myself. So we're going to use the figures on here. So these are only for demonstration purposes only. You would need to actually join a company car salary sacrifice scheme and actually obtain proper quotes. But I just thought it'd be interesting just to get a rough idea using a variety of salaries and a variety of tax situations. So are you a 20% taxpayer? Are you a 40% taxpayer? Are you on the cusp of being a 40% taxpayer? Because that can make a difference as well. And we're going to look at the potential savings for these 3 cars. So what we will do is we will take the first example here. Look, so Mini Cooper S Level 2. And what I'm going to do is go to leaseloco.com. I've used this before. Check it out if you're thinking of a personal lease or a business lease, actually. We're going to go to here and we're going to go Mini Electric. And we're looking for a level 2. So that one there, look. Hope you can see this. 135 kilowatt Cooper S, 33 kilowatt hour. So what we're going to do is put in the same terms that Lease Plan are quoting here. Look, so these indicative prices for a salary sacrifice scheme, they are saying 36 months, 15,000 miles per annum. Okay, so let us do the same. So 15,000 miles per year, 36 months. Now with a salary sacrifice scheme, normally you don't put anything up front. So it's, in this case, it would be a 35 plus 1. So month 1 being your deposit, and then 35 equal payments. So it's effectively 36 equal payments. Your initial payment isn't any larger unless there's a bit of an admin fee at the start. So if I do that lot, it's coming out at $389.87 a month. That would be the personal cost to us to lease this Mini. Okay. Now let's just remember that this is, to my understanding, and there's no actual option on the Lease Loco website, this is unmaintained. So when we're making a comparison, we need to remember that we need to insure it. We need to pay for any servicing costs, any tyres, that kind of thing. Okay. If you go down the salary sacrifice route, normally, and if you look up here, look on the Lease Plan site, everything is included. So road tax, not that there is road tax on an electric vehicle yet, your own insurance, servicing and maintenance, including glass and tyres, breakdown cover, accident management. Okay. And normally a salary sacrifice scheme will also include some kind of insurance or some kind of protection should you lose your job, should you resign from your job, should you get made redundant. Because obviously what you need to remember with a salary sacrifice scheme, it's your employer that is paying for the car, and then you are salary sacrificing that amount to fund it. So there's always a bit of a risk with this, certainly in the past, because what happens if you quit your job or you lose your job or whatever? The company's stuck with that car. So a lot of these salary sacrifice schemes now will include leaver protection, which means that should you resign, should you lose your job, etc., you can effectively give the car back. So everything's included. So if we take this amount that they're quoting, look, on a Mini Cooper hatch, they are quoting a gross monthly salary sacrifice of £474 a month. So what I'm going to do, lot, is go to this. Now, as I said, if you do want a copy of this, please send me an email here. And for a one-off payment of £10, you can get access to this, including any future updates I make. And I've already made some more updates, which I'm working on at the moment, which I'm going to show you now. So you'll always be up to date. Sorry, I was getting sidetracked then. So what we're going to do is crunch some figures. So let's assume we are in tax year 2021, which we are, and let's assume we've got a standard tax code. So that is 1250L. What does that mean? If you don't know, it just means you don't pay any income tax on the first £12,500 per year. Okay, so that's tax free. Pension contribution won't worry about. Now, this is a new feature which I've added, which hasn't been released yet, but it's quite important. And I've put nominal hours per week. Why do we want to put in our hours per week? Well, depending on how much you salary sacrifice, if you salary sacrifice an amount which takes you below the national minimum wage, it's not possible. So the reason I've done that is it will flag, the spreadsheet will warn me that we're trying to salary sacrifice too much money. So if you've got a member of staff who's thinking of doing this and they want to, they earn 30 grand a year and they want to salary sacrifice 15 grand a year, that would probably take them below the national minimum wage and you wouldn't be able to do it. So that's why I've done that. So let's say we work 37 hours a week. And let's try a 20% taxpayer to begin with. So let's say you earn £30,000 a year. Car allowance we won't worry about in this video. We won't worry about salary sacrifice for anything else. So what we're going to do, go over here, look, to the EV salary sacrifice column. And we're going to say how much do we want to salary sacrifice out of our salary. So this is for the mini. So if we go back to lease plan, we've got to salary sacrifice, based on this indicative price, just a rough example, £474 a month. So what I'm going to do in here, look, is do 474 times 12. So we are sacrificing £5,688 of our gross salary. So that means, for all intents and purposes, and this is also important, just be aware of, your salary in this example is now 24,312. So that could affect things like mortgage applications. So it's just always something to bear in mind, because your salary is now effectively reduced in this example to 24,312. Now, P11D value of vehicle on the spreadsheet. We don't really need to worry about that, because in tax year 2021, the benefit in kind rate is 0%. From 21-22, it's 1%. From 22 to 23, up to 25, it's 2%. So the spreadsheet does have a drop-down box for you to be able to choose between 0 and 5% BIK rate. But effectively, I don't need to worry about that today, because there is no tax to pay, assuming we were starting this now. So, if there's no BIK, that means our revised tax code is exactly the same. If there was, it would come off your tax code. So, our tax now is £196.87 a month versus £291.67 a month, because our taxable salary has gone down to pay for the car. Our national insurance has gone down from £204.84 approximately to £147.96. So you can see that we are saving 32% of what we have effectively salary sacrificed. So we've salary sacrificed £474 a month. The net cost to us is £322. So we effectively got 32% saving on that amount. Okay. Now what you'll find is it's 32% for a 20% taxpayer, it's 42% for a 40% taxpayer, and it's somewhere in between if you're not quite into the 40% band that much. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So effectively, look, we can get, as a 20% taxpayer, that Mini fully maintained, no deposit, insured everything for £322 a month. Okay, based on the current leaseloco.com website. I'm just going to put these into here. So let's find the Mini. There's a Mini 2. And it was, what was it on the lease website? Leco 389.87. So 389.87. and on the lease plan it was, bear with me, 322.32. Okay, now let's do it for a 40% taxpayer. So you'll see the difference. That's why it's a bit unfair in a way, because obviously you're saving, the more you earn, the more you save in a way. So I'm going to make sure we're definitely a big earner, a big 40% taxpayer. So let's put 70 grand in there. Okay. If we scroll down here now, look, as I said earlier, it's a 42% saving. So rather than us paying, what we're paying, £625 a month at 20%, £666 at 40%. So our tax bill would be £1,291. If we salary sacrificed it, it comes down to £1,102. So we've saved £189 in income tax, and we've saved about £9 in national insurance. There's not much of a national insurance saving, because once you earn more than £50,000, or once you earn more than £37,500 past whatever your personal allowance is, the saving isn't so much, because national insurance comes down when you earn more than that level. But as you can see, look, it's a 42% saving. So that Mini would only cost us £274.92, which is there, look. So you can see, let me just zoom in a little bit on here. If we were to run the Mini 2, we would save £174.95 a month if we're a 40% taxpayer, and £127.55 if we're a 20% taxpayer. Now let's remember that what I've done here, actually yes, what I should point out is what I've done here, I've added some running costs onto that price as well, because as we said earlier, a personal lease, certainly these figures are unmaintained. So I've added £25 on for insurance, £300 a year, probably, could be a lot more than that, but let's say £25 a year. Let's say we put £15 a month away for servicing costs. £10 we've got to kind of, if we were personally leasing this, you probably wouldn't be able to pay for that. Actually, let's take that away, because I added lever protection, but you wouldn't really be able to put that on a personal lease. But I've put £10 a month for tyre insurance. So that means, look, add all those things up, we're £165 a month better off as a 40% taxpayer, and £117 for a 20%. Okay. Now, what we can also do, if we wanted to, look, is put some fuel costs on here as well. So let me just transfer all of these things. So insurance, we said £25 a month. Road tax, we're going to say nothing because it's an electric vehicle. Let's see if we can comparing this with, ignore that. No, ignore that. That's not going to work. That's another video. I've already done that. That's when you're comparing a diesel or a petrol car versus an EV. Ignore that bit. Okay, so let's just go back here. So as we've shown, as on the Mini, we are paying as a 40% taxpayer £274 a month. That would be the difference in our net pay versus a gross sacrifice of £474. Okay, let's have a look now at the next car that Lease Plan quote. They quote a Hyundai Kona. They say £535 a month. Okay, so let's put that in. So we are going to salary sacrifice what did I say it was? £535 a month, which is £6,420 per year. Okay, let's change us back to a 20% taxpayer. Again, you can see it's a 32% saving. So we could get on salary sacrifice, everything all included, 15,000 miles a year, remember, based on this indicative price from Lease Plan, it would cost us £363 per month. Okay, as opposed to £535. If we're a 40% taxpayer, we would have a saving of about what, 240 quid? 42%, it would cost us £310 a month to run a Kona. Okay, last one, my favourite, let's look at the Polestar. Actually, let's not look at the Polestar. Let's actually look on Lease Loco and see what a Hyundai Kona would cost us on a personal lease. Now, I don't know which one it is. There's a Hyundai Kona Premium, there's a Premium SE. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt and we'll go for the cheapest one. So again, 1 month up front, 3 years, 15,000 miles a year. That's coming out at £400.27 on a personal lease. Let's have a look. Oh God, I've already put that in. Okay, so £400.27 on a personal lease. 363.80 as a 20% taxpayer, 310.30 as a 40% taxpayer. So let's add on our other bits onto the personal lease, bit of insurance, bit of service, bit of tyre cover. We're about £140 per month better off as a 40% taxpayer, £86 as a 20% taxpayer. Last one then, the Polestar. So lease plan are quoting an indicative price, 15,000 miles a year, again 36 months, of £646 gross salary sacrifice. So let's put that back into the old spreadsheet. So 646 times 12. So we are going to salary sacrifice 7,752 per year. Let's change this back to a 20% taxpayer. So it would cost us £439.28 with no upfront cost, everything maintained, tyres, glass, insurance, everything. It would cost us £439 a month, which is very competitive because if you look, remembering when I was doing this the other day, let's just have a look for a Polestar on here. If I could spell Polestar, that is. Polestar 2, 15,000 miles a year, 1 plus 3 years, 65456 unmaintained. Okay, let's put that in, which I think I've already done. Yeah, okay, so Polestar 2, look, currently as a personal lease would cost us £654.56. Again, add on a bit of insurance, bit of service cost, bit of tyres, etc. That would roughly cost us £705 a month without putting any electricity in. On a 20% taxpayer, it would cost us £439.28, and a 40% taxpayer £374.68. So massive savings here. £330 a month better off as a 40% taxpayer, £265 as a 20% taxpayer. Now, as I said at the beginning, this is only an indicative price. I'm just getting this from this lease plan example. It might be higher than that, who knows? This might be out of date. But you can see there's a significant saving to be had. The one thing I just want to mention is, as I said, it's a 32% saving for a 20% taxpayer. If you're well into the 40% band, it's a 42% saving, as you can see there, so 374.68. But what if you're just into the 40% band? Let's say you earn £55,000 a year. The saving now, lot, is 38.45. So it depends how much of a 40% taxpayer you are, because if you look here, the reason the saving isn't quite 42% is because without salary sacrifice, we are in the 40% tax band of £166 a month. But when you salary sacrifice this 7.7 look, we're now not in the 40% tax band. So as you can see here, our tax is reduced to 579.13 in the 20% band, but nothing in the 40% tax band. So we're not paying anything. So the saving isn't quite as high as if you were still in the 40% tax band after you've salary sacrificed, if you see what I mean. And again, it can make a difference because obviously, so let's say I earn 60 grand a year. My saving is now 42%. But let's say I've answered a Porsche Taycan. It's going to be £1,000 a month at least, I would have thought. So now we're salary sacrificing more So £1,000 a month, which means our salary for tax purposes is now not in the 40% tax band, it's 48k, which means our saving is still significant, but it's not quite 42%, it's 40.33. Okay, so that's interesting, isn't it? You can see that even as a 20% taxpayer, you can make some substantial savings if you were to go down the salary sacrifice route rather than a personal lease. The good thing also, I would say, about a salary sacrifice, as long as it has got this lever protection, if you lose your job, you can hand that car back. What do you do if you've got a personal lease? You've still got to keep the payments up. There's still going to be a penalty to hand it back. So it is quite useful. Do have a look at my other EV salary sacrifice video, because I go through comparing a diesel car versus a salary sacrifice on EV, and with that the savings are even higher, because obviously with an electric vehicle you might be paying £10 a month to run it in terms of electricity versus maybe £100 a month in your diesel car. So there's an even bigger saving there as well. I hope that was interesting. A bit of mumbling in the middle. I hope it made sense. Like I said, do check out my other videos, especially looking at the PCP spreadsheet. We're currently on version 6.1 of that. Again, if you would like a copy of that, please don't hesitate to drop me an email here. For a one-off payment of £10, you'll get as many updates as I care to make. And as I said, if you would also like to look at the electric vehicle salary sacrifice spreadsheet, currently on version 2.1, although 2.2 will be coming out soon. Again, do send me an email here and you will receive a copy once you've made your £10 donation. What I should also say is there is a Scottish tab on here, because income tax in Scotland, as I found out very recently, is different to England, Wales and Northern Ireland. So that does take that into consideration. And one other thing, actually, let me just go back to this, because I mentioned at the beginning there's a bit about national minimum wage. So let's say you earned £25,000 a year, which is roughly £12.99 an hour based on a 37-hour 52-week year. But look what happens if I want to salary sacrifice more than the minimum wage. So if I can salary sacrifice £4,000, no problem, leaves me with 21 grand taxable. But if I wanted to buy that Porsche Taycan again at £12,000 a year, you can see the spreadsheet is giving us an alert to say you're below the minimum wage. Minimum wage, living wage, I should say. I'm going to assume we're all over 25 watching this. Living wage currently is £8.72 an hour. So which is roughly on a 37-hour week, probably about 17 grand a year, something like that. So you can see, because we've salary sacrificed so much, our gross salary amount left for tax purposes is only 13 grand, which wouldn't be allowed because that's below the national minimum wage. Okay, I hope that was useful. Please do continue to comment. If you haven't done so yet, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It encourages me to make more content. And I will see you very soon. Thanks for watching. Take care.